my choices with regard to the specific person have clearly been all irrelevant. So I wish I would have to think about it more as a player. I like the idea of if you're aware of that, having it I do actually like the idea. Let me know when you're not all of it. I just not everything.
Life completed.
Yeah, I do actually think that showing you that you're not in control of everything with you are an ongoing in that world is important. So I totally buy that.
Freaking here. So crazy.
Now, there were other things like the other characters, that were involved in incidents. No action that you ever change the full outcome.
Right.
And so again, it felt like you could be as nice to certain people as possible, but it never changed the fact that they were going to decide what they were going on.
Right. And for a lot of those, right, I felt like that actually fleshed out the characters some, because some of those moments, they gave us just enough moments we could influence them, that it felt more holistic, more like real people. It was just at that particular moment was so clear to me that there's only actually one choice here, because no matter what, if this does not happen, we're now creating two separate games.
Yeah.
But other thoughts or questions?
I don't mean to lead the question, but I gotta go.
Sure,
Let
sure,
me
go.
go.
I'm really sorry. But as someone who's a programmer and interested in game design, do you have any other blogs or writers or anything?
Oh, do you read Gamma Sutra? That's where I would start. Read Gamma Sutra. It's where all this published sort of on the industry scene. Okay.
Thank you so much.
And now we finally answer your question.
Wow, finally.
Yes.
I didn't mind though. Anyway, I have like one minor question and one sort of more vital question.
All right.
Okay, minor question. Has there been any updates about the first game that you guys have with the Indie
Yes.
Fund?
So, this is something that is difficult because the first game still working on it.
Metal Drift, right?
I get weekly updates.
Ah.
But the fundamental path has been, we promised not to push this game out the door. One of the promises is that we wouldn't be a standard publisher, and we would not make developers push the game out the door before it's ready.
You let them take their time.
Every week, I agree with that. We're moving a little bit better. I can't say, you have to ship. And it's taught me a lot about the value of potentially putting in for future some external developers.
Okay.
But, on the flip side, the game they showed 2 packs ago, I think now?
Yeah.
Was the game that we initially funded them on, I think is awesome. I was worried that it might be a little overscoped. They got the demo done, we put in the funds, and then 3 months later they realized that game was actually out of the scope.
Ooh.
And it was worth the gamble to them. And so now they totally rehauled. That's been one of the things that's taken so long. Went back to square one, building other things. I keep telling them every week, look, we can't give you any more money. And they're still running on the money we gave them. I don't know, they must be getting ramen every other day at this point. They're still doing it. And so it's gonna get, I think they're gonna have a Kickstarter eventually to be rolled. Maybe they'll just shock and be like, oh no.
It's like, surprise, we were able to pull this out with only like $20.
Yeah, exactly. We've been splitting bread crusts for a long time.
Oh man.
But it's still in production.
All right.
It hasn't been lost to the ether. Right.
It didn't land inside the freaking Duke
Right
Nukem
now,
Forever
that
bucket.
is still a possibility, but I believe, given how much of their lives they've spent on this,
Yeah.
It's all sunk cost.
But I'm trying so hard to live on the promise of not saying you have to.
Shit. All right. The kick in the pants of old Whoville.
No, but once you break that kind of covenant,
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it comes down to some degree, I mean, for agency, with the people who are making, it's not about going, this needs to be shipped at this time, you have to do everything inside this space and get it done. It's about going, there are expectations, there are needs, how can we make sure that all of this is met in this time frame?
And it's my hope, though, that by next PAX, we get them to show again, and hopefully get them to shape relatively.
All right.
I'm hoping that next PAX pushes them to actually revamp this thing, because they've also, after they revamped the whole thing, they've been wanting to run fairly silent, right? They've asked us to be fairly quiet about this while they get it back into a shape that they feel like is showable. I think it is. If Dan Emmons is around,
Dan Emmons is gone. He's preparing for a panel at like 8.
Oh, okay. Did we figure out when we have to go, or what the UI situation is?
All right.
All right.
So yeah, let's see. Oh, so.
Oh, so just real quick, if you run into Dan Emmons,
Okay.
He's also helping doing some of the producery work to make sure that they at least stay on track and doing shippability every week
All right.
to us.
Cool. All right. All right. So now for the real meat and potatoes. This is something that's kind of been bugging me for a bit. All right. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with how like Hollywood's been trying to work with like video game related films. I've noticed that with game related films, it's like all the films that try to like emulate like being the game, they either are completely god awful or like cult classics is best. But movies that try and like reference like game culture, like freaking King of Kong or Scott Pilgrim or whatever, those ones actually seem to be successful critically and maybe not so much commercially, but critically, which is sort of the more important of the two. And like I'm seeing that still studios are still trying to make movies based off of games, like it's like there's supposed to be Assassin's Creed movie or something like that coming out now. Yeah, and a Warcraft movie. How do you feel like a studio or like a director needs to do in order to actually make a movie that's based on a game's world that's successful
Well, it's really
or
difficult
good?
because I can only speak from the game side, right?
Yeah.
I would say that is a whole skill set that I do not have and don't have, but from the cinema perspective, it's like that idea that a good book makes a bad movie, bad books can make very good movies. I think we have to just find the place where we take the lore in the world and we understand what the mechanics are saying, and then translate that into understanding movie scripts. Because while some of the stuff amuses me, I would love to see a Doom film that is completely silent and completely from first person, right? Where the character never talks. I think that would be brilliant.
They did. Is it the last
Yeah.
15 minutes of the Doom movie is the best thing about the Doom movie.
Why the Doom movie failed? Why did you cast The Rock and not make him a Doom guy?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
What's that's the whole.
But then, like,
When you translate between mediums, you have to know what your narrative core is, because that's what you're not communicating the mechanics. You're not communicating the play aesthetic, because you can, right? You're translating from a fundamentally interactive medium to one where the viewer is passive.
Although, if you think about it, since like 3D films become more popular, it seems like they're trying to have the audience more involved with the film. So maybe they could probably work on something with that.
I'm writing an extra project actually about this right now. Not this thing, but sort of getting more involved. Film that has more interactivity. Have you guys seen a game called Cloud Chamber? Nobody.
That was a rhetorical have you, eh?
Well, it was more one of these. I have hopes that someday I am not the only person in the world who plays the games that I play.
Right.
Because like, I feel rather with all the time this comes up, I will all the time ask, well, have you played whatever? And I'm just like, no, and no.
30 seconds.
And so yeah, I try to actually 15 minutes a day I spend playing a game I've never played before. And because it's the only way I can like keep up with the catalog in my head of mechanics.
Sorry guys.
Cloud Chamber
Wrap it up.
is really interesting.